Ba-dum-bum.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
To episode 20.
20.
Right?
Yes.
I think so. We did another one of those skip a week where we filmed a podcast and then we didn't upload it. Mm-hmm. No excuse this time. It was just procrastinating. I mean, there actually is. It's been a crazy week.
Yes.
I guess there is an excuse.
It was a crazy week.
We recorded this podcast last week. I mean, a couple days, not quite a week ago, but it's just not as relevant to upload today.
Yeah, but a lot of things happened in between.
A lot of things happened. It's been a crazy week. So it's been a little while since we uploaded a podcast. We were up in Georgia on a little vacation.
Yeah.
Things were going good. And then we got some bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news, kids. I got banned from TikTok.
Womp, womp, womp.
It happened. It really happened. People are like, I thought this was going to be worse news. What happened? Did somebody die? Is the baby okay? Don't worry. I just got banned from TikTok. Yeah, it happened, guys. It happened. I got banned from TikTok. I talked about
damn
it.
Time.
I know. Wow, Nick, we're so surprised. Who could have seen this coming besides fucking everybody? Yeah, it happened. You know, I've been talking about it a lot on this podcast. If you go back to the early episodes, I've been talking quite a bit about my TikTok career, my controversy, my
Getting
growth,
banned.
and the inevitability of my trolling getting me in trouble to the point where I would build a big audience. And I did. Mm-hmm. I got to 500,000 followers.
Hell yeah. That's amazing.
Officially, I think I got to 540,000 followers. That's closer to 1 million than to 0.
I know. And then they're all gone.
And literally, we're up in Georgia. We're on vacation. I'm hanging out with my family. We're doing stuff. And then one day, I just start getting DMs from big TikTokers popping up on my phone saying, sorry, man, you'll get it back. Just start a new account and you'll come back stronger. And I was like, what? Oh, God. What? And I checked and I was like, no. And I log into my account and sure enough, due to multiple community guidelines violations, your account has been permanently banned.
Oh, gosh.
Talk about a buzzkill. We were going to hang out with your friend.
Yeah.
We're up in Georgia. We went to Tennessee. We did a whole bunch of things. You have a friend, close friend, that moved from Tampa up to Atlanta, coincidentally, like right next to where my family is. So we were like, okay, let's go visit her. We're coming down to visit. Right when we walk into her place, we're feeling high. We're like, I mean, not high, but you know, high on life. And she's going to make us lunch and we were going to hang out and just catch up. And I was going to check my TikTok and get some work done and boom, talk about
Buzzkill.
Terrible. And I instantly was like, shit, I have to deal with this. And let's just say it wasn't fun. I mean, you know, I always expected this could happen. And, you know, I'm not totally shocked, but I also was putting in a lot of work and I was really starting to build a name for myself. Yeah. And just like that, it was all taken away from me. All the work, all my videos, all my followers. Amongst many other things, a lot of problems with when you get banned. And let's just say I was a little freaking out. You know, you told me, you told me, I guess, I mean, before we get into the story, you can tell the 3 little words again.
Yes.
What were the 3 words that you need to tell me now?
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't know that this was going to happen. So I told you that you just needed to start up a new account. Everything was going to be fine. Your followers would come back. Everything would get back up right to where you were. No one's going to forget you.
Erin, nobody can lose 500,000 followers and then just start a new account and get 500,000 followers back. You have such a dedicated
fan base that I knew that it would
What
just
do you mean you knew?
Right back up.
Are you saying?
Yes, I told you so.
She did tell me so. I was like, damn it. I literally have to start back at 0 and all this work was lost. And what am I going to do? And I was so close to expanding.
Upset. You were so sad.
I really was. I mean, it's like, I don't care about the number. I don't care about the clout. Or I mean, I care about the audience and I care about having influence for what I want to do. We're starting a podcast. I'm trying to expand this into a business. I'm trying to be, I'm doing other podcasts. I just started another YouTube channel. Check out Nick Foster's YouTube channel. I'll put the link in this description.
Yeah.
It's Nick Foster and Friends, where I'm interviewing all kinds of other big TikTokers, and we're collabing and we're having conversations about, you know, what it's like being this big influencer and creator and dealing with the drama and the audience and all this stuff. And I was on 4th episode of that, and I'm starting to go, and all these verified people are hitting me up wanting to be on it, and all these things are starting to move. And then boom, just a nuclear bomb just drops in my lap. And I mean, I guess that's a little hyperbole, but it just went to zero and just taken completely away. And it sucks because you freak out. It's like, I don't care about the you know, what's the word? You know, like the vanity aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I definitely care about the business realistic aspect of it and the amount of work that I put into it.
Yeah, you were upset that you didn't get everyone over to your Discord, and like you had so many things planned.
I was slowly getting people to my Instagrams, getting them to this channel, getting them to Discord, which, I mean, it has, this channel has grown. You okay?
I got really dizzy.
Okay.
Sitting here.
Well, I hope you're not dying.
Okay. I'm fine.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just if I pass out.
I feel like we're gonna have to get into that too. You okay?
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's fine.
Talk
Keep
to
going.
me if you are.
I will. I'll let you know, or I'll just.
Yeah. No. I mean, don't stay strong for this.
No.
I think you can.
No, I feel fine. It was just I got really lightheaded all the time.
That happened to me before once. One time I got really lightheaded and I was like, "Ooh, I'm fine." And I went to pee.
Oh God.
And let's just say I don't remember what happened after that, but I woke up on the floor with my face busted up, unconscious, like I just gotten into a fight and lost it, because I did.
Yeah.
I smashed my face into the floor because I
was so
fainted and
scary.
fell over. Didn't even know where I was. It was right out here. I was visiting you at the time before I kind of lived here. And I like crawled into the room and was like, "What's going on?" And I'm covered in blood and my nose is busted.
You're so over dramatic.
I mean, not covered in blood, but there's blood dripping everywhere. And I was like, I literally didn't know what happened. That's a scary feeling when you wake up and you're like, "Where am I?" And there's blood in your hands and on the floor, and you're literally, you feel like you just, I got knocked unconscious. I literally passed out and smashed my face. I mean, it took me weeks to heal.
I heard it, and I thought you just like hit the edge of the coffee table, and I like giggled to myself.
It was crazy.
Not even realizing you were just like passed out on the ground.
And then I come in and I'm like, "Something's wrong." And you're like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" And then I was like, you could tell like, "Oh, something really is wrong."
Yeah, and then there was blood, and I was like, "Oh God."
And you're like drunk, and I'm like, I'm going into a
you're like, "I just need to lay down," and you started sitting down laying. And I was like,
dude,
no, I don't think you should do that.
I was messed up. I literally got knocked out. It was bad.
Oh my gosh.
It was scary, guys. So basically, I learned my lesson. When you feel lightheaded, sit down.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
I'm sitting down.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, we're getting a little sidetracked. You're good though.
Yes.
We'll get into that story some other time, because we got a few other stories we got to get done in this podcast episode. Mostly the trauma of the week.
Yes.
The biggest trauma of our week, which happened this week, clearly, was me getting banned.
Totally.
And you know, it's what were we saying before we got sidetracked about "you told me so," and you know, you can't get, I don't know, but my point is,
you were trying to get everything over to your Discord, like you were upset that you didn't get all that over.
And we grew this podcast. We got this up to 8,000 subscribers. Thanks to everybody who subscribed. If you haven't hit the subscribe button or subscribe, click the button, hit the like button, leave a comment on this video. Let us know that you're here watching this. We really appreciate you guys. But also, I was feeling very upset that I didn't do more. You know, I've been trying to get people over to my Instagram. And I have 26,000 followers. Amazing. That's amazing, considering a year ago I had 900.
10. Oh.
10. What do you think I am? That much of a loser? I'm an influencer now. So, and then there were so many other things. I was about to launch a merch store. I was trying to get my other YouTube going. I was really trying to get people over to a Discord, because I knew there was an inevitability where I could get banned or TikTok could shut down with the Donald Trump thing. And there was a lot of things that I was worried about, and just feeling like I haven't done enough to really, you know, solidify this audience and make sure that I have this audience for all the content that I want to put out outside of TikTok. TikTok's just one little piece of it. It's just a piece that's really working right now. And I hadn't gotten a lot of that stuff done. And then we took a vacation up to Georgia, and I was kind of feeling like I'm being a little irresponsible, but I need to disconnect for a week. I've been doing a lot of work lately, staring at my phone all day, every day for months. Yeah, all day, every day. You know, it's you guys don't know the struggle of being a TikTok creator. And I was kind of taking a break, and then boom, that happens. And just like that, I'm like, well, I have to deal with this. I can't just ignore it. It's like you got to go into damage control.
Yeah.
It's like you got this business and you just found out everything, just your whole office building set on fire or something, and you're just like, well, I can't ignore this. What do I do?
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. You can't log in anywhere because your account is banned, so you can't even see what people are saying, what they're talking about, what's going on. I had a backup account that I kind of had at like 50,000 followers, which sounds great. I mean, I am very thankful that I had that account.
For sure, yeah.
But it's nothing compared to 500,000. You know, it's less than 10% of what I had. And I log in on that, and I'm just scrolling through. But you're not, I lose all the people I'm following, all the things that I had saved, everything. There's no, so I can't even, and it's not like Twitter where you could just search and see what people are saying about you. You know, if you're not following your feed and your For You page is different, you don't know where these people, who's discussing what. But I just start going through, and then things are popping up, and everybody's talking about it. Nick Foster got banned, or Nick Foster jokes got banned, you know, because I'm more than Nick Foster jokes, believe it or not. And it was so weird and surreal because half of the app is like somber and sad and almost giving me a funeral, which awesome. Thank you guys. You guys filled me with joy and happiness, but it's a little weird when you see people reacting to your virtual death.
You're like, I'm still here. Hello.
Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And then the other half is gloating and happy and celebrating. We got him. He's gone. He's done.
That's good. That's how you know you're doing this right.
I know. You know, love me or hate me, you know who I am, and you got an opinion. And that is my sweet spot. That's where I like to be. And they're all gloating, and everybody's saying, yay, he's gone. Finally, we got rid of Nick. Well, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I cannot talk yet. I'm not gone.
Woo!
I'm not gone. And as Erin said so elegantly,
I told you so.
She did tell me so. Because as worried as I was and as much damage control as I had to do, I jumped back on my second account and I started posting about, I'm not leaving. All right, guys, I have this account. I may have to, it's quite the roadblock. I might have to fight my way over the next many months to get back to where I was, but I'm going to fight my way back to 500,000 followers. And let's just say it took me 1 week. Literally in like the first 2 days, I was back to 200 something thousand followers.
Insane.
And in 1 week, I gained all of my followers back. Guys, thank you. And girls, of course. Yes. Thank you for the support. I think we have the most loyal fan base on TikTok.
Hell yeah.
I mean, not really. I'm sure if Charlie D'Amelio got banned, she'd probably get half of a country back in a day. But either way, it was amazing. It was amazing.
And you didn't expect that either.
I did not.
So,
I thought I knew I could get it back. I knew I had a name for myself and I could fight back. But it's like you lose all your content. You lose all your saved, like the amount of videos I had in my drafts that I was ready to post, the amount of sounds and songs that I had saved. Yeah. Those are where I make the jokes off of. And I had a whole catalog of thousands of them, all gone. All the people I'm following, which many of them I found again and was able to follow.
That's good.
But a lot of them, I'm like, who's that? What's that guy's username? And I can't find them. Yeah. And I hope they find me so I can follow them again. But you just don't know. It's just hard to just reset up like that. But a lot of people found me again because, you know, I had the second account and then and that was going to be my IRL account in real life where I was going to post things from my life and post things just out and about, but it's COVID and there's really not much going on. And I had kind of neglected that account because there's just not much to post. And so I just quickly was like, screw it. I'm going to rebrand this account and kind of make it back to my jokes, but also broader than my jokes, which it's kind of turned out to be a good thing. Now it's Nick Foster official now, guys. And Nick Foster Jokes is dead. R.I.P. Thank you for your service, Nick Foster Jokes. But that does not mean that Nick Foster's jokes are dead, okay? They are alive and well on Nick Foster Official.
Yes.
But now the account can be broader than just jokes, and I can actually expand to show our real life.
Yeah.
Do some just real content or some serious content maybe, but also jokes and just kind of everything. I think
that's great.
And so as much as it sucked when you get banned, and you do, it does suck. I'm amazed with how fast I bounced back. And then it turned into such a blessing in disguise, because it got rid of all these old videos that I'm not really proud of anymore, or that I had to use to kind of build my name and stir up the controversy and build my brand. But also the trends move forward, and once people know you don't have to fight for attention so much anymore. Things change and you evolve. I mean, I still make jokes. I stand by everything I posted, but it's still, a lot of those were probably crossing the line of the guidelines that I didn't know. When you're brand new on the app, you think this is okay content for Twitter, so it's okay here, and the rules are different. So now I can be more strategic moving forward, and all of those old videos that kind of got me in trouble in the first place, and they probably just stacked up a lot of violations, and then they reach a certain point and they're like, okay, screw this account.
You have a clean slate now.
I have a clean slate. So it actually is a great thing, because now I can broaden my content. There's nothing for people to report because all the old jokes are gone. So now I can just troll them even more, which is exactly what I did. I just got on there and I started trolling all the haters and all the snowflakes and all the little babies who cry over everything that hurts their feelings, and just mocked how I just was bouncing right back, how they're all gloating about me being banned. And I'm like, haha, really? Boom. And I already have now, as of filming this podcast today, I have 560,000 followers. So I'm officially more followers than I had in the first place, which was like a week and a half ago.
That's amazing.
Right?
That's
so
really good.
I'm cruising on up. I was gaining like 100,000+ followers a day. That was the biggest day I had, was nuts. Over 100,000 followers.
What the fuck?
It was insane. I was like, this is crazy. Just, man, you guys, props to you.
Yeah.
So I'm back. It's Nick Foster Official. And so
that's exciting.
And there's so much going on.
You.
Thank you. But I was very upset about.
I told you so.
I know she did. She's like, my family and everything. I was up there, and they're all just like, Nick, you're gonna be fine, because I was having a downer day. It's just like, it was bad timing. I'm at home, and you can't. When everybody on the app is talking about you being banned, that's the time you need to capital. If I did not jump right back on there, I wouldn't have gotten my followers back as fast, because that's when you're trending, you know? So I had no choice but to like neglect the family. And, we were going to hang out with my sister and my nieces, and we were going to spend the night at their place and have dinner and play games. And I was just going to hang out with them. And they were so excited for that. And I pretty much had to be like, guys, I gotta isolate and go into TikTok mode. And you can't really do it with everybody running around, because that's just not, TikTok, you kind of need to be in your own vibe. And I'm glad that I did, because I just jumped right back on and dove right in head on, and I just boomed right back.
Yeah.
But the whole family, I was having such a downer time, like, God, this sucks. And they're all just like, Nick, you're going to be fine. Everybody knows, especially you and my mom and everybody. They're all just like, everybody knows who you are. You're going to be fine. You already made a name for yourself. And I'm just like, I know, but. And they're just like, no, it's going to be fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was actually better than fine. It actually turned out, I ended up going from this really like freak out mode to kind of, you go through the grief stages of like, because you lose something you put so much work into. And it's so much of my creative energy was in that, and so much of my just stuff that I want, all the comments that I left, and all the stuff that I had saved, and all the sounds, and all the drafts, and all the, just everything. And you have to come to terms with that. And, so it took me like a day to be like, okay, whatever, just I'll deal with it. And then by like the third day, I was just like, I think this is a great thing. I was like actually really happy. Like, woo, this is great. Now I'm like so set for moving forward, and I can be much more strategic about it.
Yeah.
So it's been good, and thanks to everybody who followed back. But what I was saying, what I was so upset about was not getting my community off of TikTok. That's really what I'm focused on, is growing this podcast, growing my other YouTube, growing my Discord, which I need to start. So what are
your plans for then with this whole new account?
Well, that's what I'm getting into. Yeah. So because censorship is a huge problem, and I do need to talk about that a little bit, because this week, what just happened yesterday on TikTok was another big TikToker got banned for doing nothing except for making faces where he just smiles and straight face. He reacts to other people and he just smiles and straight face.
Yeah,
that's all he does.
That sounds harmless.
It is harmless, but people are holding him accountable for what his following does. And people, sometimes when you duet people, you're a small proportion. When you have he has 2 million something followers.
Damn.
And there's going to be, if 1% of them are assholes, that's 200,000 assholes, right? Is that right? 2,000 assholes.
Yeah, I think
20,000 assholes.
Okay.
I think that's right. A lot of assholes. It's a lot of assholes. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And so they'll go and they'll be assholes in people's comments when he duets them, and they're holding this kid accountable, and
that
whatever.
sucks. You can't control other people.
It's so nuts. And this is a problem I deal with all the time, but I at least make provocative posts, and I'm actually making, and I try to steer the hate and let people know, like, guys, this is not, I don't hate these people. Don't be mean to these people. I'm just making jokes or responding to people who come at me. And it's a problem. Censorship is a problem. The TikTok censorship is insane. And there's so much that I need to be aware of. And this is a learning experience. And I need to be strategic moving forward. So we're going to get into that in this next segment. And then we're going to get into all the fun news of the week. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, did you miss me? I didn't really go anywhere, especially on TikTok, because it's been a week and a half and I'm right back and more powerful than ever. And that was the great thing too, is that my views are much higher now. My engagement's high. Like, I came back even stronger than I even left, because then it's like people are mad. When somebody gets banned, they are mad that they're censored. It's like, these are people.
When you're back.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, yeah, the haters are, of course, mad. But I'm saying my fans and any fan group, when you care about somebody's content and you like their content and you're a part of their community, and then somebody, because they get offended, arbitrarily just takes you down, it's like taking something away from all of these people who really enjoy it. Like, I would feel that way if there's somebody I really care about and then they're just gone. That's kind of how I felt with the Crystalia thing. It's like, that's a podcast. That's a part of my life that I listen to all the time. That is part of my week, part of my life.
He's never come back.
He's still gone. And, that's up to him and, whatever. There is a sense of like, that sucks, and who knows about all the details behind the scenes on that. Maybe it's justified. Maybe it's not. But there's a feeling of like, man, you took something from all of us, and I can understand that when I am thinking about people that I like and I follow.
Yeah.
And that's how they felt when I was taken down. And then it's happening more. It happened to Papa Gut. He was a big TikToker with 1+ million people, and he got completely banned and everybody freaked out, but he got his account back, which I was amazed by.
Yeah.
And that's why I was thinking like, maybe I'll get my account back. No, I didn't get my account back. They're like, no, you're gone. So I had to start over.
They like messaged me 20 minutes later saying like, you will not get this account back.
No. So guys, Nick Foster Jokes is dead and gone. Sorry. RIP. But then, okay, so then but once I bounced back on the new account, I was like, okay, I'm good. Whether I can lose an account, but I'm always going to have this name for myself and I'm going to have the audience one way or the other. And that's good. But then it's like, now I'm on here and I'm like, okay, I want to make more content and I'm going to make more jokes. But I'm like, what is the line? I don't want to I'm not trying to get banned, and I am trying to adjust accordingly, but there's so many jokes that I think are funny and appropriate and not bad, but that I know other people are going to freak out by. And now I'm just so timid to post it. I'm not timid to post it online, but on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And then I almost started this week, since I got my whole following back, I start posting more provocative things, and then this kid gets banned. Donlij, nobody knows how to pronounce his username. Donlij, I don't know. Anyways, all he does is make faces, and he got banned because he was annoying. He was like triggering people more than I trigger people.
Oh my gosh.
For nothing.
That's insane.
And it's like, if you can't, how are we supposed to navigate this space? How are we, what are we supposed to post?
Yeah.
Like, are we
just
really
always smiling?
Are we really, dude, they'll probably ban for that. It's a sarcastic smile you could see. Like, that's what they did with that. Remember the Native American kid who got in trouble for smiling at the Native American? All he did was stand there and smirk, and they ruined that kid's life, or tried to. It probably made his life better in the end because he won a bunch of money. Sued the Washington Post. I forget, one of the newspapers. Won a settlement
because they didn't get the
because
right
they straight up
slandered him.
They took the picture, making it look like he was like getting in this guy's face and smirking at him. Meanwhile, this drummer Indian dude is getting in his face, and this kid is just standing there and taking it. It was like, And it's like, what are you supposed to do? So you smile, you get canceled. You frown, you get canceled. It's just like, get over yourself, you stupid snowflakes. Nobody cares about your identity. Nobody hates your identity. You can do whatever you want, but stop trying to stop people from making jokes.
Do you know what strawberries are now? Are snowflakes being called strawberries?
Is that a thing?
Oh, someone commented on one of my pictures saying like all the snowflakes / strawberries on here, like blah, blah, blah.
I don't know.
So I was like, oh, is that like a new thing now?
Maybe. I think what we need to do is start coming up with our own slang terms and our own code words. Because I made another joke about the rape word. Oh my God, I made a rape joke, but this new joke wasn't even about it. It was about how I'm not going to do that, you know? And not even like the last one that, I think we went into details about that. The funny joke that I think might have got me banned.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's so much we talked about on the last podcast that we didn't upload. Sorry, guys. Too much has happened, but now it's too far away in the past. But I made a new joke about how, like, don't worry, I'm not going to do what everyone thinks I'm going to do and flip out, man. And then I'm just like, rape joke, you know? Like, and people are so mad. So I'm just making a joke about how that's like kind of what canceled me or what people are so mad about.
I thought that was hilarious.
And then that got a community guideline strike, but then I appealed and they put it back. I'm like, come on, I didn't even make the joke. I'm making a joke about how I made the joke.
And you said the word.
And I censored it and everything. It's
Yeah.
like, my God. So they put it back, but everybody in the comments was like, we need to come up with a code word so you can still make these jokes without like them being able to ban you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a smart move, is if we just come up with like a funny way to where you can make these provocative statements, but there's nothing anybody can do, because if they flag it, TikTok's going to be like, there's nothing wrong with this.
Bowling ball.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we should come up with our own urban dictionary for TikTok that
that would be great.
that the snowflakes don't know about and can't do anything, but it just looks like pure positivity.
Yeah.
Like, we love you all. It's like opposite day, you know? I don't know. Yeah, where was I going about
censorship?
Yeah, so I just don't know where the line is, and there's all this stuff. So I'm getting back on and I'm getting into this, and then I'm starting to post more provocative things, and then boom, this kid gets banned, and it's like, all right, what am I gonna? And I got thrown into that controversy too, because who started it was throwing me under the bus, being like, you do all this stuff too. You have toxic followers. It's like, no, we just have followers who don't get triggered by everything. I mean, some of you guys are a little too, don't send threats. Stop sending death threats. Stop sending personal insults. Nobody likes that. I don't like that. I don't support that. I don't want that.
Agreed.
But it's a whole different thing if somebody comes at me with a bunch of hate and I just respond to them in a very like casual way or non-personal way, and then 1,000 people go into their comments and call them a snowflake. Boo fucking who? Get over it, bro. Like, you came at me, like, just ignore the comments. But stop sending death threats. Jesus Christ, you kids are losers if you do that. Send a snowflake emoji. Send a smile and a thumbs up. That's funny. That'll piss them off too. But stop sending death threats. But so I just don't know like where I'm supposed to go with it, because it's just like everything's so up in the air. And so this audience is very important to me, and you guys obviously are resonating with what I'm doing, with what a lot of other creators are doing. So what I think is most important, and that's what I kind of talked about on that episode we didn't upload, is I'm starting a Patreon Discord combo. I'm going to get the Discord going. We're going to get a community popping. Nice. And I'm going to start a Patreon where it is, you are able to support me, because one, we're doing a lot of things here. We need to support this podcast. I'm doing the other podcast. I want to do more traveling to collab with other TikTokers. You want to grow your studio I need to grow the studio. I need to get more equipment. I need to hire editors. There's so many things. Like, I'm literally busy all the time and I can barely keep up. And so I'm really trying to expand this. So one, it's a way to support me. Yeah. But it's the best way I can think of to where I don't have to censor where we can protect ourselves from being canceled, because TikTok's going to keep coming after us. The snowflakes are always going to try to cancel you. YouTube can take you down. Twitter can take you down. Instagram, TikTok, obviously. What am I supposed to do? Just never make jokes again? No, there's a market for this. You guys like it. I like it. There's nothing wrong with making jokes, even if they're dark humor. It's fine. So I'm going to start a Patreon where, one, I'm going to upload all my old TikToks, so you guys will always have access to them. And I'm going to upload any new TikToks that are getting taken down, deleted, banned. Or most importantly, the amount of jokes that I have to make that I literally am afraid to upload because I know this is too much.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make the joke and not post it on TikTok, but I'll post it on my Patreon or on my Discord. And if you guys are members and you can support me, we're going to build a community where the snowflakes can't cancel us.
That's
All
awesome.
the content will be up there.
Does the Discord cost money? Or
No,
is that-
I think there's pro features if you
okay.
want to, but it's free. Okay. But I'm saying people who support me on the Patreon,
yeah,
I'm going to give them access to a special channel, a private channel on my Discord where only they have access to, right?
Oh, that's
so
cool.
there's like a general channel where, anybody can come and it's a shit show in there.
Yeah.
But for people who are members of the community or of the Patreon,
nice.
they'll get access to, and there's a lot of perks I want to give where you guys can DM me anytime. You'll be able to see all my content. We'll give you credit and shout outs and things.
Yeah.
I'm coming up with some fun things, but it's really merch. Free merch, because I'm trying to get that going as well.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys can support me, but most importantly, I hope we can build a community that cannot be canceled, because this is bullshit, man. And I worry about that even with this podcast. We talk about provocative things on here. We don't censor ourselves. I cuss. We talk openly about the jokes I'm making and about a lot of subjects within our sex life and, personal life. And I want to build a platform where I don't have to worry about censorship and I don't have to worry about people taking things out of context or trying to cancel me or different websites rules constantly changing, because they took Leafy down from YouTube, and he's a provocative troll type person, and he's been an OG YouTuber who's huge, and they nuked his channel and just take it down. So even this podcast, I'm like, what if I talk about something that violates their terms and conditions, and then boom, YouTube just takes me down. So screw this. If we're building this community, we're going to build it in a way where they can't get me.
Yes.
And yes, Patreon could take me down, but it's harder, and it's less likely. And I just need to diversify. And it's not just for me, it's for other creators too, because when I see this kid get taken down for making faces, or Papa Gut get taken down just because people got so sensitive, or they're big creators who can handle themselves and bounce back. But what about some guy who's got 10,000 followers and he gets taken down and there's no recourse for him? There's no appeal process. There's no place for him to go. What about people who are great content creators and lose their job or get kicked out of school because a bunch of sensitive people on Twitter or on TikTok just smear them and call their boss and call their school and get them kicked out for some joke? No, I'm going to build a community where I can help protect that, and I can help fight this war and keep free speech alive and push back against cancel culture. And it's just the only way I know how to do it. So
what is your movement called?
Woo, I know we do need a movement. Did we come up with a name? I feel like we've had some. The no flakes, the Knicks no flakes, no flakes allowed, no snowflakes allowed. It's just I'm just well aware of the consequences, and I'm also like realizing, TikTok is not the place for free speech, and it's not the place where I can openly, post a lot of content that I like, and it's just I have to think smarter about it. So I hope you guys can support. And that's something I've been working on getting set up. And I want to be able to say it's all set up and go to the description. It's already there, but it's not quite there. It might be in this description of this video, but it likely won't be. But as soon as it's ready to go, I'm going to let you guys know. And hopefully we can really start building this and build this into something much bigger. And I can collab with other people, because I really wanted to focus on this other podcast where I'm talking with other TikTokers, and we can all lift each other up and kind of fight back against this cancel culture nonsense.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of the bad news of the week, I guess. I don't know. Is there anything else? But now it's like
good news. It was like a bad news at first that like turned into a very good positive thing.
Yeah. It's ended up being a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
But it's also not the end. It's a battle that on goes, because now I'm in this whole new war and battle with TikTok because of this kid who's making faces, and somehow I got thrown into that. And it's like, guys, why are you bringing me into this? I never did anything. Look at my videos. Oh, you mean Nick Foster jokes? That's some dead dude. I don't know about that guy. I haven't done anything. What are you talking about? But it works for me, because any controversy is good publicity. And I love being in the middle of controversy, because it just stirs my account and blows it up even more. So I'm happy to get the views and the attention. That's the thing. This thing is getting so, it's like a bunch of high school drama, as all things go. This is every app I've ever been on. It just becomes a bunch of fucking drama. Sorry, Mom. Oh, that was the other thing I guess we should talk about. My mom listens to this podcast and started telling me, she's like, Nick, hi mom. Starts telling me, Nick, I listen to your podcast and it's really good and you're really good at it, but you say the F word too much. And I just think it would be more appropriate if you didn't say fuck. Sorry, mom. And so I was like, Mom, you just created a new trend every single, now I'm going to cuss all the time. Man, I had such a good, I wish the podcast we didn't upload. Remember when I was like, I just went into it. I was like,
on this whole
fuck mom. Sorry, mom. So about my fucking mom. Hey, sorry, mom. And I just like kept saying it and just did it a bunch. Anyways, that's going to be the new thing, guys, is anytime I say fuck, sorry, mom, I have to apologize to my mom for saying fuck. Sorry, mom. So that's the new thing. But my mom just didn't like the fuck so much. Sorry, mom. And so I'll try not to say fuck. Sorry again, mom. Yeah. What? I'm blanking so much.
Yeah, there was that. When is TikTok's what?
TikToks?
TikToks.
TikToks.
TikTok's supposed to be banned, or like,
yeah, that's the
that?
other thing is, it's tentatively going to ban on September 15th. That's the executive order that Trump had signed.
Yeah.
If they don't make a deal, all this stuff is up in the air. I don't know, but that was something that was weighing on my mind, and I was working so hard to try to get my audience moved to other platforms for the inevitable. And I was kind of venting to my mom and everything about it. And she was like, well, you got 30 days. And I was like, yeah, but honestly, I could just get banned tomorrow. I'm worried about that too. And I had said that to her, like, I might just get banned tomorrow. So I don't feel like I have a lot of time. And I'm just like, I can't just take vacations. I got to like be on this. Mm-hmm. And literally the next day I got banned. Like I just threw it out there.
You shouldn't have put it out there.
I jinxed myself. And I got banned, but yeah. But I bounced back and I'm bigger and stronger than ever. You know, imagine getting on TikTok if you started today and getting 500,000 followers in a week. People would be like, what the?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on. I'm going to get a lot of this stuff going. I'm going to re-strategize and I'm going to build this community in a way that can build this podcast, build other podcasts, lift all the ships, allow me to expand, allow me to hire people, collab with people, travel more, you know, really build this into something much bigger than TikTok, much bigger than just jokes.
Yeah.
But it's all part of it. I am a free speech absolutist. I want to fight this culture war of cancel culture and, silencing people.
Cancel culture.
Yes. Cancel culture is the movement, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people are starting to say this. I had made the merch. I started making designs and I had these great 2 design ideas and literally so weird. I was like going to go and get these printed. And then I was on Twitter and some person I follow on Twitter who's like a big political girl, hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter who I've followed for years. No relation to me, doesn't follow me, doesn't know, like I never put out my designs or anything. Mm-hmm. One of my designs was cancel culture. And the other design was snowflakes with like the crossed out thing for the no snowflakes allowed. Like it was kind of like, that's the design I was kind of playing with. And those were like the 2 designs I kind of wanted to print first. And I get on Twitter one day and literally this girl is on there and she has a shirt that she's like new merch and it's cancel culture. And I was like, what? That's literally what I was going to do. And then and I was like, that's probably just a coincidence. And I was like, let's see what other designs they have because there was like more to the tweet thread. The very next shirt was a snowflake crossed out. And I was like, what the F? Sorry, Mom. I didn't say it. I censored myself. What the fuck? Sorry, Mom. There we go. Don't cancel me, YouTube. I'm like, what is going on? Literally the 2 designs I wanted to design. And this girl is like, got the exact shirts that is so weird. And it is a coincidence because there's no way I never gave anybody my designs or told anybody. And she's some huge account that doesn't even know I exist.
So crazy.
Just so weird. And the weirdest thing is the merch company that's local in Tampa, because we're friends with the guy, Tom. Shout out to Tom if you listen to our podcast. Works for a Viral Style. Shout out to Viral Style. I guess that's where we're going with. We're giving the free promos here. And I was going to use their company for the on-demand printing and do my merch through.
Yeah.
And that's the same company she was using also. And I'm like, what the? This is not Teespring or some shit. This is not some big This is like a local business in Tampa. And this is the website she's using, and just happens to use the 2 designs that I can't do it. If I use these designs, I mean, I'm going to come up with my own anyways.
You can,
whatever.
because you did think of them first. I can testify to
know.
that.
It was just so weird. I was like, what is going on?
And it just goes within like your brand and everything too.
I know. Well, there was so many merch things I was going to do based on the old account, but then Nick Foster jokes got taken down.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, now I got to go back to the drawing board. I was mostly refocused on getting my audience back, and now I'm mostly focused on building up my platform to where I can't be canceled, and then I'll worry about the merch. You know, I'm not doing this all just for a quick buck or even to make money. I'm doing it to expand into a platform that I can actually have a voice and influence in culture, to where I can fight back against what I see happening all the time of people being censored, taken down, shut down, villainized for opinions, for jokes. It's so toxic, and it's eating our society up, and I hate it. And I'm in a position where I can fight back against it because I can't be canceled.
Yeah.
I can be deplatformed. That's why I got to build my platform strong. So that's what I'm mostly focused on. And the merch is going to be a fun part of that, and a way to give back to the people who support. And I want to build it into my jokes. And I had a lot of ideas of what to do, but Nick Foster jokes got taken down. So I'm re-strategizing.
Yeah.
So that was the only news of the week, guys. That's all that happened. And we're going to have to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get into the I guess, the boring stuff that happened.
Yeah.
You know, nothing else major happened. So
if you want to stop listening here,
this is the point where if you just want to know about the drama and the TikTok drama and the only trauma and tragedy that happened, the only thing that happened this week, you can tune out now, and then we're gonna get into the boring stuff that happened also this week. So we'll be right back. And we're back with some magical coffee that popped up. I am very much looking forward to getting my own coffee mugs.
I know.
That's the merch I'm most excited about. Of course, some cool shirts, some maybe some cool masks, some phone covers or something. That'd be cool. I got some ideas for things.
That's cool.
But my main favorite is the coffee mugs.
You always use that in like your
I know.
TikToks too.
Yeah, I often make videos with my coffee, and I'm like, I need to merch my coffee mug.
Yes.
If we got any coffee drinkers out there, definitely support and
tea.
Yeah, or tea. This coffee mug is yours because it was the only clean one. It's a leave me alone, I'm having a crisis.
I love that one. That was my mom's, and she used to drink out of it all the time. And so when I moved out, I was like, can I have this?
Are you saying we're having a crisis?
Oh, that is
Look, we're gonna do all these segues into this segment of the podcast without ever getting into it.
I should be drinking that.
Yeah, right. Leave me alone. I'm having a crisis. So obviously this week we had the worst news possible of me getting banned from TikTok. So sorry, kids. That is the title of the episode. I think maybe, I don't know. I haven't listened to this, but I think sorry, kid. I mean, no, it's got to be more than that because that's too short. What would
you said it in the
bad
beginning.
news, kids. That's the bad news, kids. So the bad news, kids, is I got banned from TikTok because all the kids on TikTok. But the worst news is for our kid who will never grow up with a famous father because I got banned from TikTok. And that is that's why they won't grow up with a famous father, right? Is that the bad news? Yeah. So how?
Sure.
Okay, actually, we have some good news, guys. Here's the good news. Erin went into labor the other day.
Oh, yeah. I gave birth.
And we gave birth. Well, she gave birth. She did all the hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a successful birth. Minus
delivery.
She definitely delivered the baby.
Yes.
A little premature.
Just a little bit.
You want to tell them? If they don't understand yet, you want to tell them the news? Because everybody keeps asking.
So.
And we haven't let anybody know yet.
We had a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage.
It did happen.
Yeah.
No baby Foster. Bad news, kid. You're not going to live to see your famous dad on TikTok.
Yep.
It's true. We had a miscarriage. The baby made it to about 12 weeks. The fetus. It's not a baby. It's a fetus.
I thought I was in the clear.
We were hoping.
Yeah.
But also, if you guys go
Things
back,
happen.
you know, this sucks. If anybody is listening and knows anything about if you've had a baby or been pregnant, or if you know a girl or your mom or anything.
You know a girl.
Well, a lot of the kids are boys and young, and they probably don't even know how this all works. But
True.
this is something that happens. You know, you get pregnant, and it is not guaranteed. Okay, it's very common to have a miscarriage.
Within the first 12 weeks, it's very common.
And we were right at 12 weeks, and you know. We talked about it openly when we gave the announcement about one, we were super shocked and we weren't really prepared and ready to have the kid, but then we let it sink in and we were excited, but we also were very, realistic to the fact that
we were in the beginning for sure
that it could
and
miscarry.
I think, yes.
If you listen, go back and listen to the episode, and I was like, look, and we could have a miscarriage.
I was on board with that too, and I knew.
And
but every week that went by, that got closer and closer to 12 weeks. And once 12 weeks passed, I thought I was in the clear.
Well, it barely passed. I mean, it was
like
right
12 weeks and 2 days or something.
Well,
but
little do you know that
really
baby was dead before 12 weeks. Look at us making light, dark jokes about our own dead. You're not allowed to make dark humor unless it's your trauma. Well, guess what? I can make all the dead baby jokes I want now. Woo! You know why? Because my baby died. It is sad. It is sad. It kind of sucked because we did not get our hopes up, but we started getting attached to the idea of having a kid. As the weeks went on, it started to become more real.
I was looking at baby rooms and ideas and like getting all excited about decorating and we got some presents and stuff. We went up and saw your family and like
my family was so excited and boy, they're sad that they were so excited to see a little me running around.
And it was just so nice like talking with them and just like them being excited and everything too, and like just being in that energy was beautiful. And now
it's over, guys. It's over. So to everybody asking on TikTok, how's the baby doing? How's Erin's pregnancy doing?
How's the belly?
When's
I'm just
the gender?
Fat. I am just
Do you
fat.
know the gender yet? Guess what? My baby is gender non-conforming. All right. Doesn't fit into your gender binary. Okay. Because it is a fetus that we have buried in the backyard. We don't know what gender it is because it came out looking like a blobfish. It came out looking like one of those bone marrow babies they love to talk about. Remember my old joke with the blobfish? Well, this is what it looked like. Literally did look like that.
Yeah.
And if you guys are wondering, it literally does come out like she gave birth. She went into labor once the baby's...
I was having minute apart contractions.
we're just laughing about it.
It was so crazy. And so I thought I had passed it on Sunday night.
Yeah, we did too. Well, I guess we should give the backstory because this is what we're going to talk. We're going to get into all this because we're open and honest on this podcast. We like to
start with Friday.
Yeah. We were open about having the baby. We're open about previously you having abortions. And we talk openly about this, and we're going to put it out there because maybe this will help people. And, it just gives you a window into all the aspects of a relationship, good and bad.
And if someone can relate too, they can hear this as well.
Yeah.
And not feel alone.
Or also be like, how dare you make jokes about your dead baby?
Maybe.
Well, guess what? You're allowed to make jokes about your own trauma, and we are allowed to. I can make fun of miscarriages all the time now. This is great. I get a free pass. You're
welcome. I did this for you.
Yes.
That TikTok convention next year is around the time I was supposed to give birth to. So you're welcome.
True. I know. I did notice. I was looking up when is this TikTok convention? It's March 10th.
Yeah.
Or something like
it was
12th. I don't know. It was literally the week of our baby's due date. R.I.P. little baby Foster. But you're dead just like Nick Foster jokes. Both of you will never exist. So I don't know. We went back and everything was going fine. We're kind of excited, but we did go to Busch Gardens again. All right. That's one thing. We did talk about on a previous episode how we rode a roller coaster and we felt guilty about it.
Yeah.
But this was weeks ago and everything was fine. And we went to the first checkup to viability check. And that's when we heard the heartbeat and we were super excited. And it was cool. It was a cool moment.
Yeah.
And but everything was fine. You know, if it had dislodged or something, it would not have been fine there.
All that, yeah.
So that was not the problem, unless it gave it some kind of, who knows? You never know. You don't know the reason.
Yeah.
But we went to Busch Gardens again because for Friday night, it was like summer nights where it's like no dark. You can ride the rides. They have
10.
fireworks shows, and we just wanted to walk around. And she was not going to ride the roller coasters, and she never did. And even when we went up to Georgia, we went up to Tennessee for a couple days to go to Gatlinburg. And you know what's right next to Gatlinburg? Dollywood. And you know what they have at Dollywood? An RMC roller coaster and a B&M Marine coaster, which I really wanted to ride. And guess who didn't get to go to the park? Because Erin was pregnant. Oh, it's not safe for the baby.
Wasn't even pregnant.
And little do we know, there was probably a dead baby inside you, and we could have just ridden the rides. So I'm a little bitter. But we didn't. And then we went to Busch Gardens just to walk around, and I rode the rides, and she didn't. And we had a great night, and we were walking.
We played games.
Yeah,
and like
we had great little date night.
And toys.
And we were talking so excitedly about, man, next year we're gonna have a little kid, or like in 2 years it'll be like a little toddler.
The animals and stuff too.
Yeah.
And we were like talking about showing them this, and
it would be so. We did fall in love with the idea of having a kid, not like this kid specifically, because we know things could happen, you know. But we were starting to really visualize it, you know. And we had this great time, and then. But she didn't ride any of the rides, and we came home and she started to bleed. Oh, I guess you should tell this part.
Yeah, I was like lightly bleeding, but I had been bleeding weekly, and so I just thought that was my norm. And so I was like, oh, okay, of course, today it comes. So this is just my normal thing. And it had stopped, and so I wasn't really concerned about it. But then Saturday came in the afternoon, and I started bleeding again. And I was like, okay, this is a little weird.
And for some people, this can be normal. You know, we had checked it up, and we had asked other people.
People get periods during their pregnancy and everything too. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe like this is just my period, which is weird, but okay, it happens.
Yeah.
And then, but then it like went on into the night, and it was a long time, and like it was more blood than I was used to. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, I started looking up places to go to, but everything's closed because it's the weekend. The urgent care facilities that I had called, they don't do any sonograms and stuff, so they can't check if the baby's okay. They could just give me like a pregnancy test or something, and it's like, okay, that's going to come back positive. That's not really going to help me. So I was like, I told you, you know, if this is worse in the morning, then we have to go to the hospital because there's nowhere else we can go.
During Saturday, when it was getting worse, you were starting to get very concerned.
Yes.
And I didn't know what to say. I'm like, one, I'm involved
like,
with all the things
right.
I'm doing, but I'm also like, it's going to be fine. I think you're just not overreacting, but I was just trying to be positive and be like, I think you're just super worried, but I'm just like, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And you were like, but it's more blood. And I was like, is it more than a period? And you said, it's about the amount of a period. And I was like, well, that seems like light, you know, it's not over the top.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of thinking it's okay.
When I had the miscarriage before, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it was I started bleeding and then boom, everything happened really fast. So that's why I was kind of confused too, because I was like, okay, well, like, I don't think I'm having a miscarriage because it's been hours now and something should have happened. Like dramatic should have happened. I should be dying on the floor type
And that's
thing.
what I was like, how do you feel, you know? And I started being like, okay, one, I wanted to keep you positive and I wanted to just be optimistic.
And I just didn't want to go to the hospital either because that was our only option. And there was nothing
we could do. It's like, if it's happening, it's happening.
Yeah.
And okay, we'll find out tomorrow. There's nothing we can do to save it. There's nothing we can do. And I just wanted to make sure you were safe and see how you were feeling. And you were like, well, I feel fine, but I'm worried. And you lost sleep over it. And you were up all night looking at things.
I know.
And we said, if we wake up tomorrow and it's still work, and I was hoping for the best. And you said, if we wake up tomorrow and it's still going, we're going to have to go to the hospital. And I woke up and you were already up because you had been up all night kind of worrying.
Yeah.
And I rolled over and I was like, what do you think? And you were like, I think we need to go. And I was like, okay, I trust your instincts on this.
Yeah.
If you're in tune with your body, you think something's wrong, something's probably wrong.
Yeah, we went to a really nice hospital, the Tampa General Hospital in Brandon. Amazing hospital. I suggest going there. The people were really sweet. It was very fast to get in, and waiting was nothing. It was
good.
It was really awesome. Better than any ER I've ever been to.
Not the best day, but you know, I mean, it wasn't. We took it okay. We went in. She was already thinking it's a miscarriage. You were pretty sure. Well, you didn't want to.
I didn't really know, because when I was looking things up too, it was like the subchronic hematoma type thing.
Yeah, you were looking up all the worst possible things that could happen.
It was like, you know, if these things were actually it was either miscarriage, that, or some like placenta thing. And if it was one of those two options, I would have had to been on like bed rest and like couldn't do anything and stuff. So like nothing that I looked up was good.
No, it was going to be a bad day.
Either way, yeah.
And I was still being optimistic, and I was like, okay, I should let my mom know what's going on before we go in. And I kind of texted her, but then I almost didn't send it because I was like, am I just worrying my mom? Am I just like freaking her out because maybe Erin's overreacting? But you were so in tune and sure like something's wrong, and I wanted to give them a heads up because like in case the worst news, so I didn't just blindside them. And I'm kind of glad I did, because it ended up being you were exactly. Well, we go into the hospital and they sit us down, and you know, I'm just kind of, I don't know what's going on, but they're doing their questions and their tests, and I'm just kind of watching and listening. And you were telling them exactly what was going on, and they were not saying, well, that's a bad sign. You know, they were like, this can be normal.
Yeah.
And they were very reassuring of like, you know, this doesn't mean anything right now. So we're going to do some tests and check. And so I was like, okay, that's good. They didn't say bad thing. You know, they're like, this could be normal. So I'm like, this, maybe everything's going to be fine. And then they bring in the person to do the ultrasound, and she right away says, whatever happens, I can't tell you what the results are because, you know, we got to save that for the doctor. And I'm sure they just say that because they're not the ones who's going to tell you if it's, you know, they want to let you know, like, don't expect answers from me. I'm just here to do the test. And she starts doing it, and I don't know and you can't see.
Yeah, I can't see.
The computer's turned away, but I can see. So I'm watching like a hawk, and I'm like, what can I see on this? And they're doing the thing, and I can see the bean in there. I can see the baby's in there. Yeah. Tiny little thing, but it's there because I had seen it before on the first ultrasound. And, you know, then they're doing the part where I think they're looking for the heartbeat because it had like the line go across. And I remember the last one seeing the boom, 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 boom. And I was like, okay, that was good. And they're doing it here, and it was just flat. And I was like, I think that's supposed to be the heartbeat. And I pull out my phone, and I'm secretly looking down to the video where we found the heartbeat or filmed the heartbeat the first time. And I was like, does that look the same? And I'm like, yeah. And that was right when I knew. Yeah. And I think it's a miscarriage.
I was laying down, and I couldn't see anything. And she's just like doing her thing and stuff. And then I guess she turned on like the sound for it, so she could hear.
And you could hear a heartbeat.
I could hear my heartbeat.
That's exactly, because when I saw the flat line, I was like, that's not good. But then I did see a heartbeat, but it was a much slower heartbeat. It was boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And I was like, is that the baby or is that Erin? I don't know. And when I heard that, I was like kind of hoping for the best, but because I had seen the flat line, I was like, I'm going to have to break the news to Erin so she's prepared. When this lady leaves, I'm going to be like, I don't think it's good. Yeah. But you instantly looked, she was like, you knew because you heard your heartbeat. Yeah. And you knew that was not the baby's heartbeat. Yeah. And you looked at me, and I was like, she already knows. We just subconsciously were like, it's over, guys.
Yeah. Oh.
And you were sad. Yeah. And you let out a little cry.
A little, and not really, because it was just like weird them being in there too with like all these other people and stuff. And like, I know they felt so bad. And like, I'm glad it was ladies who were in there too. So they like knew what was like going on too and stuff. And it was rough, but I knew it.
Yeah. And we took it okay.
I was hoping not, but
I definitely felt, you know, disappointed and sad. I wasn't relieved like I would think I would be with, you know, previous girlfriends and pray like, oh, thank God, dodged a bullet there, you know. So that's a good sign as always. It's like, damn, I really did kind of want this. But I also was not I did not dive into it yet because it's just this idea. And until I could feel it in your stomach or be more like, I was waiting till it was further along.
Already nesting.
I know.
I was like getting the house ready, like trying to get the room ready. And
we're building this studio to open this space up.
Yeah.
We cleared out my room into your room so we can consolidate a new room.
Yeah.
We're planning the painting. We were going to IKEA. Like we were starting to plan for this.
Yeah.
But to me, it was still very far off concept, So I think I took it better.
Yeah. You were like sad for me.
I was so sad for you.
Yeah.
Because I know you were more attached as you should be. It's more natural that you would be.
Yeah.
And just because I know how excited you were for a kid, and I wanted that for you.
Yeah.
And so the doctor came back. You could tell when I was like, if there's good news, this lady who's like, I'm not going to say anything. She's going to be like, don't worry, girl, it's fine. I think it's a good sign, but I can't tell you what's up. And then, that's how they're going to be. But she got really awkward. She was like, okay, well, I'm going to go now. And she's like pushing the thing out the door.
It was like kind of got stuck a little or whatever.
Listen,
I was
lady,
like, oh my gosh.
If you're watching this, your body language is a horrible tell. You don't play poker because you made it the most
like, I don't
obvious
think she
bad.
Looked at me
she was just like, I got to get out of here. This is bad.
Her car
news.
really wasn't working or whatever.
I know. She's like banging it on the door, like, oh God, let me. Sorry, guys.
Close the door and like all this stuff.
She's
oh
just
my gosh.
Sorry. What are you saying sorry for? No, I'm sorry. I just I'm gonna get out of your way. Sorry. It's like, Jesus Christ, lady, just tell us the baby's dead. We already know. All right,
God.
we already know.
Like, this is awkward.
And she leaves, and we wait, and we talked, and we cried.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't cry, but I think you teared up, and we kind of we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And then the doctor comes in and they sit down and they're like, okay, so and we're like,
I know. And she comes in and she's like, closing the door, looking away, like kind of doing her thing, not really looking. And I'm just like, if this was good news.
Well, you got to understand from their perspective, they're probably out there like, I got to break this news to somebody. That's got to be such a hard job.
And they probably do this a lot because they were saying we see this a lot and everything. And I'm sure some women don't take it.
Oh, yeah. Like, at least we are very... strong and reasonable and realistic.
Like, I'll go cry in my car by myself listening to music. Like, it's okay, lady.
You can just tell us the news. And she was coming in, she's just, and we're like, okay, here it comes. And then she's trying to break the news gently, but I'm just kind of like, we kind of already know.
I know.
I was just like, don't worry, we already know. Just tell us how it is, Doc. I know. Just tell us the baby is dead.
Yeah, she was kind of going around and trying to...
And then she was very sweet and understanding, but very direct.
We had really good people.
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
You guys are good.
Thank you.
The one lady
really
needs to work on her body language, but
but she was so sweet.
It's fine. Still sweet.
She was good.
We're going to take a break, and then we're going to get into the details of this and process it, I guess. So no baby for us, guys.
Sorry, kids.
It's bad news, kids. Okay. We'll be right back. Dum dum da dum dum da dum da dum da dum.
So when we're in there too, the doctor was asking us, she was like, or she was telling me our options. And she said, one of them is you can pass it naturally. Your body will take care of it. It'll take some time, yada, yada. Or you can get where they give you the pill that will kind of speed up the process and help your cervix dilate all the way, and it'll be very painful, and then you'll pass it and you'll get it over with quicker, but it'll be very painful. Or you can get the DNC, which they go in there and they...
What does that mean? I kept hearing this word. And I'm like,
it's where they go inside.
Democratic National Convention? I don't want that baby. Get them out.
D and C.
Oh, gotcha.
But I'm not sure exactly what those stand for. Dilation and sucking out. No, I don't know. Scraping out. But that's like what they do. They like have to get it all out of you. They do it manually. So I was just
Did you just call her baby an it because they're gender non-conforming?
Yes.
They're a gender non-conforming, decomposing blobfish. This is how we deal with things, guys. Dark humor helps.
So I told her that I want to do it naturally, and she was like, that's how I'd want to do it too,
Yeah.
So then we left there.
We went home.
Yeah.
We processed it. We
Yeah.
talked about it. You let out what you needed to let out. I'm sure you did it privately too.
Yeah, and it was more. It wasn't really. It was.
It wasn't
still
that.
settling in,
we
too,
weren't
and,
that
like,
emotional. We were just like we were. It was the best way to
just more like,
describe the
that just
feeling.
sucks.
The best way to describe the feeling, honestly, for me,
Yeah.
was like there was this really fun trip or vacation we had planned in March, and it just got canceled.
Yeah.
Like something you're really excited for.
Disney
But
World.
it's not, yeah, kind of. It's like that feeling of going to
you're
a
a kid,
Disney
you're
World
like,
as a kid,
"Yay!"
and then it's like, we can't go to Disney World anymore. And you're just like, oh.
No, I know. That's how I felt. Like I was
That's
just like,
the
this
feeling.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like
we
that
were excited
sucks.
for it, but it does not feel like the pain of losing a child.
Oh, for sure.
I cannot even pretend that it's that serious to us, you know? Mm-hmm. So
I would think though, if I was further along,
and that's the thing is we're really grateful as much as, you know, people
It
are
sucks,
sympathetic and you know, my family was giving condolences, and we don't want a pity party.
I know,
it's not like that.
Yeah.
We're thankful that it happened sooner versus later.
For
It could have
sure.
been way more traumatic if it was later, if we had gotten more attached. And the way we think about it too, the way the doctor was saying is like, look, this happens a lot. There's no telling what the reason is or why. It's clearly your hormone levels were dropped way below, so it had happened before.
Yeah.
Before we went in there, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
And it's just the body's natural way of saying there's something wrong with this pregnancy, and we're going to and it terminates it.
Yeah.
So for all we know, we were going to have a blobfish baby. You know, we don't want a blobfish baby. We don't want a baby with deformities or deformities is one thing. Obviously, you don't want that, but a mental problem or some type
lifelong
of real
issues where it impedes their life, their living too. Like,
and my living. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. I don't, you know, we don't want to, everybody wants a healthy baby.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and if your body naturally was saying this is not the one, well, then I'm thankful.
Right,
you
I
know,
agree,
you don't know what we were saved from or what it was saved from. So it's hard to just put all your love. I mean, there's love and
for sure. Yeah.
excitement, but it's probably for
Just
the
wasn't
best.
meant to
you know,
be.
it wasn't
Yeah.
meant to be.
Yeah.
And so, you know, so we go home and we're dealing with, and we're kind of waiting for it to happen because
We're just hanging out here Sunday
when
night.
you have a miscarriage, you know, and I didn't know this, is like, what is going to happen? And even talking to my mom, because my mom's was very, you know, understanding and she understands having a baby more than anybody because she's had 6 kids and she's gone through the process, but she never went through the miscarriage process.
Yeah.
And so she didn't really know like what does happen. She was kind of interested in like what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we were hanging out Sunday night after we left the hospital, and your period came pretty heavy.
It was
and
like
there
I passed some tissue.
Something came out.
Yeah.
And you were sure, you were like, I think I passed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, well, I guess that's it. And that's done and interesting, and move on. And I kind of let my mom know, like, well, she passed it, and we think I think it was the next day on Monday when I was like, yeah, she passed it last night. And I called my mom because I had texted everybody and let them know, guys, there's no heartbeat. We're not going to have a baby. And they were all very sad. And I wanted to call her and actually talk to her. So I called her the next day, told her, and was like, yeah, she passed it last night, and it was pretty much easy peasy and no problem. She was like, well, that's good, but also interesting, and you know, whatever. But you didn't pass it.
I did not.
Apparently you had yeah, the worst was yet to come.
Oh my gosh, that's why I was like, wow, this was really easy. And maybe it's because it like was over such a long period of time, because I remember, or no, because I didn't really remember it hurting when that first happened, but when they gave me that pill thing to put inside me to make sure I got all the tissue out, I remember that hurting, and I had contractions then because that was making me like dilate and try to get everything out. So my first miscarriage didn't really hurt. It was all very just fast paced. So I was like, oh, you know, I had light cramping. This happened. I thought that was it. Monday comes along. I'm still bleeding. And then I started getting like what felt like contractions during the day. I just had them during the day.
We had processed things, and we had come to terms, and we had woken up that day pretty much like okay, it is what it is. And we had done whatever we needed to do to get over it and kind of accept that, it's not going to happen. And we were fine. And then we were like, should we talk about this on the podcast? And that's the reason I didn't upload the last podcast, is because I had filmed it a little bit before and it wasn't there was more things that happened with the TikTok thing. And then this happened. And I was like, I can't just upload that pod because it's going to be like, it's not, people, we need to talk about this, And so I was like, let's film a podcast. And we were on the fence about whether we were going to talk about it. And you know why? Because of these fucking haters, first of all. As much as you guys think you guys aren't toxic. Yeah, fuck you, kids. Sorry, Mom. You know how many people are going to gloat who were like, how many people sent me DMs from TikTok? Girls, alt girls, the gay LGBT community, all these people who think they're some special, positive people who said, I hope your girlfriend has a miscarriage, and how much they're going to gloat. Like, ha ha ha. You guys are so sick and evil. If you gloat,
you're a terrible person.
You're a terrible person.
You're a terrible person.
But also, it's not going to bother. Look at, we're fine. No, it's not going to bother us, but it just shows how gross of a person you are.
Yeah. It's one thing to kind of say that. Maybe you're trying to just be like, because they don't like you. And so they're just like, I don't know.
And then if it does happen, and then you're like,
hopefully
whatever.
And then if you like keep on doing that, it's like, wow, you are really terrible.
Evil people.
Yeah.
And this is why we don't have sympathy for you.
No.
But we were on the fence about, should we talk about this? Because it's going to get out and people are going to talk about it on TikTok and the haters are going to say what they're going to say and whatever. We don't really care.
Yeah.
But we were on the fence. So I wanted to make sure you were good with it before we did a podcast. And we pretty much woke up the next day and we were like, yeah, I'm good. Because you just were like, I want to be over it by the time I talk about it.
Yes, yeah.
And it really took us one night. It was like we processed it that whole day, and then we went to bed and we slept and we woke up and we were refreshed and we were just like, okay, this is it now, and we're okay. And we're like, yeah, let's talk about it. And that was the plan on Monday, was to talk about it. And then during the day, we were leading up to it. And then you started feeling something else happening.
So during the day, I was having what felt like just cramping, but like hard cramping, hard. And there were points where I guess they were getting kind of closer and closer together, because I would have to lay on the bed like this and moan just through it, because they were getting really intense. But they were very spread out that I didn't even realize what was going on until they started getting closer and closer and longer and painful, more painful. Man. Oh my gosh.
I was hearing her because it was so weird. You came in here because we had kind of decided, okay, let's not do the podcast. Let's just wait until we know everything's good.
Yeah.
And you came in here and you were so happy and feeling fine and you were super horny. You came in here and you were just like, I want to bang you so bad right now. And I was like, does a miscarriage turn you on? What's going on here? And I was like, I like it. But also I'm like, maybe we should wait until it's like you literally are in the process of having a miscarriage. I don't think now's the time. But we thought it had already passed.
Yeah.
And you went from literally being so horny to in an hour, you were in labor.
I know. It was crazy.
I heard you in the bathroom just going, like the most pain I've heard.
Breathe through it.
Dude, I felt so bad.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know what to do. I'm just like.
I had watched those breathing videos just to find one so I can save it for later and stuff. And I kind of practice it one time. And so I'm in there trying to do these things. And she was like, you have to moan through it in a J. So I was like,
yes. She sounded like a.
Trying to do J movements with my body and stuff.
She sounded like an animal in heat. Because she kind of was. She was in there if Nick's not going to bang me.
It was so fucking crazy.
It was. I started getting so worried. I came and I was hanging out with you. And I was like, I just want to hang out with you and be near you in case you need something.
Yeah.
And it was getting worse and worse and worse. And then at a certain point,
I came into the room and I was just like, I need an epidural.
And I was like, miss, if you go back to our announcement podcast too, she was all about, I'm going to have a natural water birth and I'm going to do it naturally. We got a baby the size of a walnut. How big was it?
It's the size of a lime.
A lime. And she can't even pass a little lime.
The sac was the size of a grapefruit.
Yeah. Okay, so a grapefruit. I mean, that's pretty big. That's a pretty big dump. That would be painful for me. However, you think you're going to give a natural, full-on watermelon birth,
and you couldn't even
pass.
I'm not giving birth. That's not the birth part that hurts. What hurts is the contractions before it.
I know. Look at me. Just obviously, I know this is a crazy process. I saw how painful it is, but I just thought it was funny. You were like, I need the epidural. And I'm like, what are you going to do when you have a watermelon coming out of you?
I understand now when you don't see an end in sight.
Yeah.
It's like, how long is this pain going to go on for? I had no one there reassuring me who has been through it before.
She was just in there by herself. I'm like, I can't do anything. Our bathroom's tiny. I just came to hang out and was there.
I thought I had already passed it. I had no idea what was going on. And I remembered I had called the doctor's office because the hospital said to call the doctor in the morning to set up an appointment. And so I had called her and she said, call the next day to set up a same day appointment. But if your cramping gets worse, if you're bleeding heavier, like if you're getting nauseous, like lightheaded, like all these things, go to the hospital. And so bleeding gets heavier. I'm like, all right, well, maybe this is just kind of, or no, the bleeding wasn't heavier. It was, the cramps were getting worse and worse. And I was just like, I don't want to go back to the hospital. Like, I can handle this.
And it was late at night.
It's fine.
It was like 11 or something.
Yeah, like, this is fine. I can handle it. It's okay. But then I started getting nauseous. And I was like, holy shit. I am checking off all these marks. I was sweating. Yeah. I was cold. She said, like, a fever, too. I'm like, something isn't right. I need to go to the hospital. So I came into the room, and I'm, like, naked. And I, like, come into there. I'm like, give me some clothes. We need to go to the hospital.
I know. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, it's like it's happening. She's going into labor, but also our baby's dead and she's probably dying too. No, I can lose my unborn fetus, but I cannot lose my girlfriend.
It was so crazy.
What do you need? I'm rushing around getting everything.
Grab me a red dress. So he grabs me like a fancy red dress.
Dude, you said the red dress with the straps, and I'm like, where is this? This is way too fancy. Is this what she means? I don't know.
I thought it was so funny afterwards. You're like, was this the dress? I was like,
I just wanted to know, like, did I get the right dress? I don't know. I thought you wanted to look sexy while you were pooping out a dead baby.
But so after I had said that, though, I immediately go to the toilet and puke, and I'm like, this is not good. I'm like thinking, how am I gonna make it to the Brandon hospital? Like, that's like a 20-minute drive. I am cramping like crazy, and I am sick. This is not gonna be good. And then I feel this bloop. And then I'm like, oh my God. And I just like get up and sit on the toilet and whoosh.
It comes out.
It's out.
She
gave birth.
She did. She literally went in through the contractions, went in through the pain, went through the labor process, and out came our beautiful blobfish right into the toilet where it belongs. I'll take that and I'll throw it over there. Well, next one, we want a new try.
It was so crazy. But it actually did kind of enlighten me, because from the moment that my contractions got really bad and they started getting like a minute apart, it felt like fucking forever, for sure. But that was maybe 15, 20 minutes tops. That whole thing, maybe even shorter.
From the real pain.
Yes.
I mean, it was going on a little longer.
Yes, that was for sure. But like the pain part where it was like all the fuck, like every like it seemed like it was one after the other, one after the other. They were a minute long. I'd have a minute break and then a minute one coming again. It was crazy. I was like, I was timing it to see. And
I'm sorry I didn't film the beauty of our natural birth.
I know.
Oh, it's coming out. Oh,
but now I actually think I can do it.
Yeah.
Because
you did. You gave birth. And then instantly you were like,
oh, I was like,
dude,
that's done.
I'm running around. I'm freaking out. She is moaning in pain. And I'm like thinking something is really wrong. And I just got to get her to the hospital. And then she's like, I'm fine. I think it came out. And she was just fine. It was like enlightened. Just went from like,
I know, the cramp stopped.
Just like, instantly over it.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. I was like, yep, that was it. We're good.
And I was like, okay. Well,
was this the dress?
And then I was like, so was this the dress? And she's just like, no. I was like, oh, okay. And I went and put it back. And then,
so wait, so I think I could actually give birth then, a natural birth, because once I am fully dilated, that's what that means, is like those minute contractions and stuff. I believe you're fully dilated at that point. It is a very rather quick process. I am not doing that for an hour or 2 hours in that type of pain. I'm pretty sure my body, and like I didn't even have to push or anything. My body was just like, boom, get it out of here.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that's what it's gonna be like.
Well, we know that you can give the birth. Now let's just see if we can actually grow the baby to term. You know, we got
that step done.
we got the final step figured out, but there's a whole bunch in the middle that we had a rough
skipped
start
over that
with.
part.
Yeah, you know. Whatever.
But I have a morbid curiosity.
Yeah, so
and there was
right
a lot
away,
of blood
she's
in
like,
there.
So do you want to see it? And I'm like, no, not really. But also, you instantly go into, I kind of want to cut it open and look at it.
No,
Like
no.
the sack.
No, I know, but I had to see the sack first,
Yeah.
and then I got
she
to the
tells,
point.
she goes, go get a stick from the yard. And I literally am going out in the middle of the night with a flashlight to find a stick so we can fish out our dead blobfish baby from the toilet. This is
my God.
This is quite the romantic experience.
curious.
Is this how your guys' first baby went? Because this
I
was
wanted to know
this
what
was
it looked like.
this was our experience of having a
I hope I
blobfish
didn't
bone and marrow baby.
freak you out about like wanting to see
I
it.
get it. My mom would probably do the same thing. She'd be super curious, and she was
Yeah.
morbidly curious about
It's
the
like
process.
I immediately go into like a biology thing of like I am a
you
scientist and I
literally
want to know what this
had
looks
a
like.
life form, a dead life form, but a growing life form come out of your body. I guess you have the right to inspect it.
Yeah.
It's so weird how just like we can talk so openly about this horrible thing we did to this human body, but if it was like further along, it would be really fucked up. You know, it's
yeah.
like murder or something.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just this is also why I'm like, yeah, I'm still pro-choice because I saw that it's just a little fucking.
That was the sack that it was in.
I know, but.
It was
it's
in
tiny,
the-
and it's just like we can so easily be like
Yeah.
fish it out with a stick.
So-
you couldn't do that to a baby.
Okay, if you are squeamish, fast forward 15 seconds. No, just
Just don't watch this
Yeah,
part of this
okay.
podcast. Why
So,
are you even here if you're squeamish?
I got plastic spoons. That's
Did
how
you
I got
better
it
not-
out. Plastic spoons. I
Did
threw
you-
them away.
Okay, I'm like,
fed you with them.
did I cook eggs this morning with our dead baby? Dude, she came in and even was like, don't judge me, but I kind of want to eat it. And I was like, no.
I just wanted to see her reaction.
She just bust out.
What's it going to? But I just
I was
wanted
like,
to
okay,
know.
we're taking this way too far now.
Because I was coming in to ask you something else, but I wanted to say the most like extreme thing first.
Well, you had
So then
talked
when I
about
asked
eating your
afterwards-
placenta
No, I know.
one time, which I guess women do. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, no, Erin.
So that's
You already made me fish out my child with a stick, pooped in the toilet.
I talked about the placenta way before that happened. But anyway, so I came in here and I asked you, I was like, if I could eat it, just to clear the air, like, you know, make light of things.
Yeah.
And then I asked you if we could bury it because it just felt a little weird to like flesh it,
Yeah.
you know?
We'll get into that right after this
Okay.
this commercial. So R.I.P. little
Thing.
almost human blobfish
Little
creature.
Quarantina.
It wasn't very cute. I'm not gonna lie.
You didn't see it.
I mean, what I saw was pretty horrific. So R.I.P.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be
Hurry
right
up
back and
and
we'll
cut
get
the
into this. Yeah, so
So I asked you if we could bury it, and you were like, "Sure, like if you want to do that."
I mean, it was like now we didn't know what to do. You have this, well, you gave birth into the toilet, and it's just sitting. It's like, are we really just gonna flush this down the
I know,
toilet?
but we
What do
flushed it
do?
the other night. But it was because when I saw
was
it,
tiny,
just like
yeah.
it was so small,
We thought
and
it was
like
like nothing.
it was just like some tissue, and I was like, "Wow, okay." Like,
because maybe your body had already eaten it up or something. I don't know.
oh God.
I don't know how it works. That's kind of what I was thinking. It's like
That
it
is
already
not what
it
the- yeah.
erodes away slowly or something.
Yeah, no. That does not happen.
I don't know. This is my first time having a blobfish baby.
Welcome to woman's anatomy.
Okay.
And like
got you.
Physiology and biology and all that.
Okay. You
have to get it taken out of you. Your body's just not going to reabsorb. And it was
gross and not cute. And it was horrific.
So I got 2 spoons. And
she puts it in a jar.
I take it out. And I could so when I picked it up though, because when we saw the ultrasound, it was in the corner.
It's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah, and so when I picked it up, this side was heavy. And so I knew. And so I kind of moved my spoons over a little more to kind of poke at, feel it in it. And then I was just it made it more real for me too. It wasn't just the sack where it's just tissue. Then I could see, and then I was just oh my God, I was pregnant. This was real.
I mean, we already knew you were.
This happened. Yes, but to actually see it and feel it and all these things, it makes it so much more real and there and so yeah, I put it in a mason jar. And
then you guys know how everybody makes jokes about having dead babies in the freezer? Well, we actually put it in the freezer because we couldn't bury it that night. It was raining. It was dark. Mm-hmm. And so she put our dead child in the freezer. God, this in another context would put us in prison.
I know.
And right now it's just that's what else do you do?
It made me think too, how many times miscarriages do happen. How many dead babies are flushed down the toilet daily?
Oh my God,
around the world.
That is morbid.
Where does it goes to the facility and they
just fish it out.
How many babies are in there altogether?
Well,
that's really creepy.
I know I've spent 25 years squirting dead babies down every drain possible. So, hey, we said tune out if you're squeamish, all right? I don't know if you know what boys do, but dead babies everywhere. No, but this was another level of a dead baby.
Yeah.
And so
it just didn't feel right to do that.
And I understood. I was like, okay, yeah.
And my best friend, she was the one who suggested that because I had told her that, know, and she was just she's heard some people do this. And I was like, that is such a good idea. Oh, she was saying that they plant a tree over it and stuff. And I was like, that's such an amazing idea. That's what I'm going to do.
So we froze it. We froze it, and then the next day.
Yeah, the next day I go to therapy. I have therapy on Tuesdays, so I'd gone to therapy.
You had to go to therapy? What did you have to talk about? I know,
it just perfectly happened. Thank goodness this was going on.
I got a therapist scheduled the next day.
I know.
Because I just pooped out my dead blobfish baby. That's the way I'm going to describe our baby, just to not be emotionally attached.
So I go, and as I'm paying her, I see the date. And it was the anniversary that my dad had died, September 1st. And I was just whoa, all of this is together.
Day.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I had asked my mom.
We still haven't gotten into that story. We will save that story for another time. Mm-hmm. Too much tragedy for this time. But it was and
I knew when I had set up the appointment last week that it was set for the day that my dad had died. I was like, oh, that's great. That'll be a good day to talk about it, this or that. But then so much had happened that I just completely forgot about what day it was until the end of the session. But then I went to my mom and I told her what we were going to do. And then I asked for some of my dad's ashes.
So
that way I could bury both of them.
Both our unborn child and your dad together. Yeah. And have a bit of a...
a little ceremony and a little...
And I was
eulogy
I was
or
down
whatever.
for it. I was that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You got a little tree.
Yeah, I got a key lime tree. Key limes were my dad's. He loved key limes.
I went out in the backyard and dug the grave.
Yeah.
And we put them in.
That sunset.
It was a beautiful sunset. Mm-hmm. We put them in. We planted the tree. We played a little song. We hugged it out. Had a little moment.
Yeah.
Said our goodbyes.
It was nice.
And then went on with our life.
And now we'll eat the fruits of our...
And now I got my freedom back. Woo! Erin's not messing up this hot body. We can get back to our crazy, fun life, and we don't have to worry about any responsibilities yet again.
Until next year.
Woo! But no, I did not feel that way. I felt very, I was like, okay. Because we have this yard, we have this beautiful yard. It was beautiful sunset. And I was just, I haven't been outside in so long because we've been traveling and I was like doing so much stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the last time I was out here, I was on the phone talking to my mom and imagining like our little kid running around. And I was excited for that. And then it's like, well, so much for that.
Next time.
But we talked, even when we were going into, when she was really worried about the miscarriage and I was trying to reassure her, I was letting her know, like, look, whatever happens, it's okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to be fine. And we know now how we handled the news because we never planned to have a kid.
Yeah.
Not that time.
Soon, yeah.
And I was like, I'm ready. If you're ready, we can have another one. It's okay. This is not our, we know we can get pregnant and it's okay. And it was already like... So we're pretty sure we're going to try again.
Yeah.
And now that's going to be kind of exciting because now we can actually try.
Yeah.
And it'll be like,
exciting
it won't be shocking news like it was. But we will have to, we got to make sure everything's good and we'll be more aware and more like take it easy during the first trimester. Mm-hmm.
And, that's why I want to get everything done now that I was trying to get done then too. It's like, so that way I can take it easy because I am a very... like go-getter.
Yeah.
That I can't
She did not want to be on bed rest.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do it right away. We're gonna readjust, get back to our normal fun life.
Yeah, within like a year.
And then maybe next year. Around the same time maybe, so we can kind of plan it around the same time if possible.
Yeah, and not be like super pregnant during the summertime.
Yeah.
Because
hot
it's way
summers
too
in
fucking
Florida.
hot. Yeah.
So, guys, I still have a year of my social life and my freedom, and I'm going to use it very wisely and fill it up with all kinds of debauchery.
Fill it up with shit.
Yeah, exactly. And so, maybe next year or maybe not. I guess time will tell. Mm-hmm. We can't plan life. We just we roll with the punches.
We'll see what happens.
And this is that's life in general, guys. Everybody thinks life is some perfect thing and it's just everything goes to plan and there's like, no, you got to adapt. You got to kind of ride the wave.
That book that I'm reading right now, I think it's like Comfortable with Uncertainty. Mm-hmm. I've been reading that quite a bit. I brought it up to Georgia. I was reading it there. And they're very short, like every page is a different thing to read about. And I kind of I keep my bookmark in the same spot so I can read over what I read again and then go to a new page and read. So it kind of sticks in. And where my bookmark was, it was something that I'd actually read before. And it was that nothing is solid. Oh. You can't hold on to this idea and this certainty and because it can just go away and you're not going to truly live life if you just keep on holding on to everything and trying to make it.
Yeah, I had put some, obviously we both dealt with loss in our life, people very close to us. And those are, when you go through a severe loss, and I'm not talking just your grandma dying or something, somebody very close in your immediate, your grandma's
be close to your
fine
grandma.
if you're very close, but a lot of people, for me, it was like, they're old grandparents and it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
But when you deal with a very unexpected, sudden, instantaneous loss where it's just sideswipes you
out of the blue,
it really gives you a perspective of you got to learn to let go. You can't hold on so tight. And I had put something out that's like the real lesson in life is not to hold on tight but learning to let go. And I think that it did get me into that mindset. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed with how well you took it and how well I took it, and it gives me reassurance that we can get through tragedy in life and we're a good partner for each other. We're very supportive and understanding and we were there for each other, but we're also not gonna dwell unneedlessly, and we can both make jokes about it and we can well, even other things, I
don't know how I would handle it if our kid died.
No, of course it would be it's not like we would just jump right back to normal we did here. However, there are some people who I think they just never can recover. Yeah. And I just feel like we are at least able to do that. And that gives me some hope. And I was impressed with how well you took it and how well both of us kind of recovered.
And I loved how supportive you've been. I really appreciate that because I have not had that in my life. And you were just an amazing guy. And I'm just so happy that, we had this experience and this was with you. And
Yeah. And it was a good experience, you know, as much as this sucks.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good experience to get pregnant, to process it,
know that we
to
can
talk
get
about
pregnant.
it, know that we can, know that we were excited, know that we were dealing with it well.
Yeah.
Neither one of us was trying to run away.
Knowing that I can stop drinking alcohol.
Yeah, that was good. She definitely noticed how she's still not drinking. I was like, when we did this podcast, I was like, should I go get a bottle of wine for old time's sake? Because she hasn't drank since the news.
Yeah.
You know, what, 3 months? 3 months? You were 12 weeks? Well, I guess 2 months since we heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should just start drinking on here so people are like, what is she doing? What about the baby? It's like, fuck her. Him. It, whatever, fuck it. But no, she was like, no, I don't need to right now. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I won't either because that's good. And we'll keep that going. It won't be forever, I'm sure, but you know, it is a good clean break.
Yeah.
And all in all, the experience was enlightening. It was fun. It's like I said, the feeling of like losing some really exciting trip or something that we were going to take in the future. And there's like memories that we kind of have of like imagining having this little kid running around. And we had talked about one day we're going to have this kid and that's going to be amazing. And so I kind of have like an image of a fictional child, girl or boy. That's kind of like, you kind of have to let that go, you know, but it's not as vivid as if you had a real child that you knew and were attached to. And
for sure.
You know.
And you're like, Mom and Dad got us a baby book. And I was like, I was going to start filling it out too, but I wasn't feeling well. Yeah. And so I did it. I'm just like so glad that I did it because
she did not start filling out the dead baby blobfish book.
Yeah, because then I could like save it for the next time and, you know.
Although maybe it would have been. Yeah, I don't know. We both were like, we don't want to be attached to it. We're not going to treat this as some like, you had a sibling who died for our next kid. Our next kid is the first kid.
The sonograms and everything. I have that in my keepsake box, and like, you know.
But we're not gonna build this up in our mind as some horrible loss. We're not gonna have a birthday
every year.
We're not gonna celebrate this and mourn this.
No.
It was.
It's like later in life.
An undeveloped fetus.
Yeah, later in life
wasn't
too.
A baby.
I don't like if a kid asks.
Yeah, you had a miscarriage.
We can say we had a miscarriage.
But you had miscarriages before.
Yeah.
And you had abortions before.
Yeah.
And they're very different, you know?
I know.
They're very different.
It's just, it can be talked about type thing, but it won't be mortalized?
Yeah.
Immortalized?
I mean, depends how you're using the word, but yes.
Just like it won't be like this huge thing that we're like.
Because I can see some people doing that, especially certain people we know who just build it up as this whole like thing. And then you almost like put that on your next kid of like they're the second child or they're the one that they're I
read a story on Reddit about that.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, the mom, they had a miscarriage and then they had another kid afterwards. They had a real kid. And I guess she would celebrate the birthday of the baby that had died and stuff. But it was a miscarriage. I guess they were kind of further along, but the baby didn't come to term. And she would always have like birthdays for it. And she kind of neglected her kid who was actually alive because she was just mourning this entire time and never getting over it and dwelling and stuff.
That to me
and the dad was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get her out of this. Our kid is like, you know, hurting from this.
That's exactly what I mean about I'm glad you can handle loss and you're not building this up into this horrible trauma that we're never going to recover from. It's like, because I would have to move on and be like, okay, I got to move on.
Yeah.
I can't dwell. I'm a person who doesn't dwell on the past. I have nostalgia for the past, but when sad things from my past come up, I just am like, that's in its time and place.
Yeah.
That is a time that doesn't exist anymore. You can never go back in time. Even just memories, like when we were walking around, we were up in Georgia and we're walking around at night around my brother's neighborhood. And it's just it threw me into this nostalgia of being a kid on Halloween night. Yeah. And I was getting this feeling of like what it used to be like during that time in the 90s when I was a child walking around this Georgia neighborhood, because it has the feel that I don't have in Florida because the neighborhoods are very different and it's all flat versus Georgia, which is all hilly. And I was overwhelmed with this nostalgic feeling of like this distant memory of a time and a place that I can remember, but I'll never be able to go back to. You can never go back to those moments in life. And it's just, you let them in and you appreciate them and you reflect, and then you snap back to The present is all that's real, and the future is what's coming. The past is the past.
I
It's
forget
gone.
everything, so I have no problem with that.
I know you are good at that, which is probably a good reason, a good coping mechanism too.
It's a trauma-based coping mechanism.
I very much do remember things, not so
I'm
detailed.
getting it back though. I'm getting my memory back, which is nice. I'm realizing that that's not what I have to do to survive anymore. I don't need that.
But it is good. It's good, It's important to live in the present moment.
Oh, for sure,
and to take on the
future. But I like to remember the happy moments.
So many people like to only dwell in the past and only want to think about and have pictures of the past and all the keepsakes. And there's something cool to that. And I understand you do that. And a lot of people do that. But for me, I'm just like, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. The past is the past. The future is the future.
Yeah.
And the moment of now is all that exists.
I'm glad you won't be a hoarder.
No, probably not. I mean, maybe I'm sure as you get older and older, you're more nostalgic because more of your life is behind you.
Yeah.
And you become more nostalgic for the past. But to me, I still very much feel as though life is ahead of me, even though I'm this middle-aged man almost.
How old are you?
I'm 30, going to be 36 soon. in what, next month? Yeah, next month.
Oh, yay.
36. So.
Yeah.
But I still, I feel very youthful, and now I still got all my freedom and all my lack of responsibility in life. So I'm still young at heart. But we gotta get a baby making soon before I'm too old.
And you can't make them anymore.
Yeah. Well, I still can no matter what, but can you? That's the question. It's harder for a woman as she gets older than a man, but. I'm not trying to wait till I'm 50.
Yeah.
I'm down to have a kid by 40. And that's kind of what I was thinking. And I thought we still had more time. And then this happened. And then we're like, okay, I guess the time is now. Mm-hmm. Well, guess the time is not now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's been quite a week.
Yeah.
So how you doing now about it all?
I feel fine. I really music helps a lot when I'm mourning. So driving to therapy and listening to my songs and stuff, and I was crying, and I'm like, this is probably not safe, but just letting it flow more and not going into a hard cry. But it felt really good to release, and I think that is kind of my way to release too, because I am so I need the music to help me. Yeah. The songs and it's just, it really helps me.
No, I can see that.
So yeah. And then talking with my therapist, it was really good. I'm lucky I have that type of support system. I have you as a support system. My mom, I'm very lucky, my friends and stuff whom I haven't really told anybody, but
surprise everybody.
Yeah.
It's a blobfish. And that your friend had messaged on our thing Erin's belly. I put a picture out on Instagram or TikTok, and your friend was like, "Oh my God, Erin's belly with the hearts." And then it was like, "Who's gonna tell her? Yeah. Erin's just fat." There's no. Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, Alex has been a lot of help through this. And
thank you, Alex. Shout out. Sorry I ruined your, sorry for the double bad news. I ruined our trip up to and thank you for lunch.
Yeah.
And I ruined the trip because that's the day I got banned right walking into your apartment.
Yeah.
And then we had to go very fast to deal with that. And you guys didn't get to hang out. And then you get hit with this bad news.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
It was crazy. But I'm glad we did the tree thing and everything. That was really
so
nice.
We have a beautiful tree out there growing, and there is a rotting dead blobfish baby in it. That's the name of this podcast. Dead blobfish bone marrow baby. I'm kidding.
No.
Well, it's wrapping up. So do we need to wrap this up?
Yeah.
We're good with everything. Congratulations to all the haters. You got your wish. We had a miscarriage, but don't worry.
We're doing good.
It's not going to hurt our feelings because we're still happier and healthier than you mentally and otherwise.
Yes.
And sorry to everybody who was excited. Thank you to everybody for the kind words and all the support when we gave the news and how you were all supportive and excited. And a lot of people were asking questions and just we're really excited to hear how it was going.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. And hopefully we'll have good news again in the future, but we will hold off the excitement until we're past the first trimester because this can happen.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Please support us and the Patreon if I have it up by the time this goes up. Who knows? But we will give you more details on that. Follow me on my new TikTok account, Nick Foster Official. Also, my new Instagram name is Nick Foster Official. I'm kind of rebranding completely, and yeah, that's it.
That's it.
R.I.P. kids.
Tune in next time.
R.I.P. to the one kid, and back to TikTok, I guess. Good news for you kids. Dum dum da dum da 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 da.